Who is this ghastly man?
Your one and only favorite Muppet.
Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well. It's good to see you again. I've been told that more than once that I should check out a video that has British town names that are offensive or weird. So I did a little searching here, but I had to stop right away because this video, the title of this got me. It says, "This is the most offensive street name in UK history." So that definitely grabbed my attention. So I don't know what the name of it is yet, but we're going to find out. So like, subscribe, do whatever you guys want. And let's find out what the most offensive street name in the history of the United Kingdom is. Here we go, folks.
This is Magpie Lane in Oxford. You'll find it just off the High Street, which is also known as the A420.
It's got the parental advisory warning already.
In Oxford. You'll find it just off the High Street, which is also known as the A420.
I've heard of Magpie Lane.
Today, it's nothing more than a small road used for access, but in the 13th century, this unassuming street had a very different life and indeed a very different name. A name that is so offensive it's been deliberately phased out over the years before being removed altogether and consigned to the history books. And that name? Grope Lane. Yes, the C word. I'll be saying that a lot in this video.
What? Oh my god! What maniac came up with that name? Holy shit! Oh, what a name for a street. Oh my god. I'm surprised Trump doesn't live there.
Deliberately phased out over the years before being removed altogether and consigned to the history books. And that name? Grope Lane. Yes, the C word. I'll be saying that a lot in this video. Sorry, Mum. Magpie Lane in Oxford used to be called Grope Lane, and as the name suggests, it might have been the place to go to if you wanted to, you know, grope a... yeah. No, really though. In the 1200s, roads were often given names that reflected their function, and this mainly worked by looking at what commodities were sold on any given road.
So this is where all the brothels were. On this road. It has to be. If what he says is true. All the brothels on the road.
Given us street names like Silver Street, Brewer Street and Fish Street, and of course, Grope Lane, or Street. So what sort of activities could one get involved in at Grope Lane? Well, obviously it depends on how much cash you've got, but like I said, if you wanted to grope a... yeah, then this probably would have been the street to go to. Or, to put it a slightly different way, back in the good old days, prostitution was rife, and whilst not legal, it was certainly tolerated, with most cities featuring a red light district. Oxford was no exception, with its red light districts being confined to a single road, so it's perhaps easy to see why it ended up being called Grope Lane. Magpie Lane, aka...
I fucking can't. I can't. It gets me every single time he says it. Unbelievable. And I'll tell you what, Auto Shenanigans, because that's who's bringing us this video, by the way. If you want to check out their channel. That's a sub right there. Because he's bleeping it out, so I don't have to do it on my end, because for some reason the C word is the most frowned upon word in YouTube history. So thank you, Auto Shenanigans.
Grope Lane wasn't the only road to be given this name, and according to records, it wasn't even the first. That title can be taken by Grope Lane found in Southwark, London. It was first recorded as existing in 1230, and whilst it's fair to say it or others may have existed before this time, that was the first time that anybody made a note of it. Since then, other records of Grope Lane have been made all over. Parson Street in Banbury used to be called Grope Lane. St Benedict's Court in Glastonbury, yep, used to be called Grope Lane. London had several Grope Lanes, of course, and Worcester, Bristol and Southampton all had a Grope Lane where you'd have found a thriving red light district. What a time to be alive. There were variations on the name as well, such as Grap Lane. The meaning is the same because Grap is Old English for grope. And in Shrewsbury, we find Grope Lane, a slightly less offensive name, but it's where you'd have found Shrewsbury's red light district. Bonus fact, other spellings of Grope Lane have been recorded, such as Grope Lane, Grope Lane, Grope Lane, and Grope Lane.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite videos that I've found in a while. Look at all those different ways to spell it. Oh my god. It's in all seriousness though, if some of the pictures that he's showing of a grope, you know what lane, it actually looks pretty a little bit. So it's a nice looking road, I must say.
How many times are we going to say But what's happened to all of these roads? Well, the roads mostly still exist, but it turns out the word became quite offensive. It's hard to pinpoint when exactly, but the name grope seemed to start disappearing as early as the 14th century. Initially, it appears they used some of those more obscure spellings, but as time went on, the removal of the word seemed to become more of a priority. In a lot of situations, the name would be changed to Grope Lane, Grove Lane, or as is the case in York, Grape Lane. Don't get me wrong, you could still get your end away and all of that, it's just the roads had a fancy new name. A bit like a rebrand or something. It took a bit longer for some though, and it wouldn't be until the 17th century that Grope Lane in Oxford became known as Magpie Lane. It had another name change in the late 19th century to Grove Street. An interesting choice because the name Grove was a common replacement for Grope Lane back when they set about making that name change. I'm not sure if they realised the connection, but in 1927 they changed the name back to Magpie Lane. Eventually, all offensive variants of the name Grope were replaced, and if you're in a major town with a road or street named Grove or Grape, it's very likely that once upon a time this would have been the centre of prostitution for your town. Maybe it still is. If you would be so kind as to hit the like...
Maybe it still is! Holy shit, dude. That is a very interesting, funny, and just wild piece of history if all of this is accurate.
And if you're in a major town with a road or street named Grove or Grape, it's very likely that once upon a time this would have been the centre of prostitution for your town. Maybe it still is. If you would be so kind as to hit the like and subscribe buttons, that would really help me out.
I already did that.
They're not going to let me monetize this video. Thank you very much to Mike for the idea behind this video. If you want to get in touch just like Mike did, then join us on the Facebook group. Search for Auto Shenanigans, join the group. It's that easy. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
That was one of my favorite videos that I found in probably months. That was fantastic. And it's I love the C word. I know it's that word is much more, I feel like it's much more acceptable in the UK than it is the United States. If you say that word here in the United States, you're definitely going to get some mean looks, especially from women. But I feel like it's a much more accepted word in the great United Kingdom, and it might be necessary because a lot of you guys use it for descriptive purposes, and when you throw insults at each other. And I've always loved that word. Queen Boomer hates it. She really does. Anytime I say it, she immediately is on my ass about it. But if that's the case, any Grove Lane used to be a Grope Lane, and that used to be where a lot of this was going down. So that's actually very interesting, but it's very funny as well. Magpie Lane, I have heard of that for some reason. I didn't know. I always thought it was in London. I didn't know it was Oxford. Well, is Oxford in London? I don't know. I can't remember anything. But that's where you have your big university too, isn't it? Oxford University. I don't think Oxford's in London. Why am I thinking that? It's just, I'm such a muppet sometimes, but you guys already know that. But anyway, funny video and informative, and it had history, which is my favorite subject. So it's a lot of great things rolled into one with this one very short and sweet. And thank you, Auto Shenanigans. I definitely subbed, and if you guys want to check out their channel, I'll put a link in the description below the video. But I hope you guys enjoyed the reaction. Like, subscribe, do whatever you guys want, and I'll see you all again soon. Peace out.